It's about that time. You're rocking with your boy Damo Unleash and Sky Black on the Nashville Caveman podcast. Stay tuned.
Hey, what you got in that bag? Just know that I'm up. Just know that I'm up. I gotta turn up this function, like I'm in the Lotus and punch it. All I'm gonna ask is stay in your lane, and you won't be food for my lunch. I'm coming up out of the dungeon, cooking up plans to make something from nothing. And since I secured the bag, it's time to do math, so I'ma keep hustling. I thought I had lost my way or something. I am not feeling what they say is busting. They keep us trapping this way, disgusting. If you so happen to catch me flexing, I could be killing the stressful day by learning how to install some chromic crystals on the Escalade. Matching the arm that's on my sternum. I am for the sake of the people. Grabbing my Glock and pray to the Lord, cause not everybody tryna be peaceful. I still hope we set the stage for showing them how it's supposed to be, so those that's close to me won't have to ask, hey, what you got in that bag? Hey, just know that I'm up. Just know that I'm up. Hey, what you got in that bag? Just know that I'm up. Just know that I'm up. Hey, what you got in that bag? Let me explain what I'm talking about. Had a joint called down about it. Letting these loud mouths know how to move without sound. Best if we don't even shout out. Midwest, east, west, down south, till we get even or even above. Till then we gon' opt out. Let's go and educate on the backside. Folk that act right and they won't backslide. Just put it together no matter the weather, my brother. So hey, if you dealing with vices in you and it's cutting you up like against you, put it on chill for real, or they gon' just use it against you. What you got in that bag? Quiet water.
What is going on, y'all, man? Welcome to the Nashville Caveman podcast, man. I am one half of your host, Damo Unleash. I'm happy to be back, man. But right now, I'm going to take this time to roll out the red carpet for a friend of mine that is like a brother. So the floor is yours.
What's up, everyone? Sorry, last week I wasn't able to make it. You know, I had to go through, had to have surgery on my darn turbinates and I have sinusitis and had my adenoids removed and my turbinates reduction, and then they scoped the back of my nose so it stopped a lot of that post-trip, you know, how you have a lot of mucus drain down your throat and all that good stuff. So after about 12 days, I'm finally coming off the damn drugs and able to talk and able to just drink just anything or whatever. But y'all, thanks y'all for tuning in this Tuesday. This Sunday coming up, No Limit Pro anniversary, 5-year anniversary. It'll be me versus D'Amico Graves versus Hype versus Big Man Carnage. But I say even though D'Amico is the champion because he beat me last year for the belt, so that means he's held this belt for one whole year. But it's time for me to get it back. So for my No Limit Pro Broken Limits champion, this Sunday, Tullahoma, Tennessee, everybody come out to No Limit Pro. Watch this match. It's going to be a banger. And watch me try to get my belt back. Don't forget, tonight, we have the D-Bling radio show. We have new music, not only from Dr. Carver, but from a young lady named Jay Dynasty. Shouts out to Jay Dynasty. I've been following her career since, I was at 88.3 at MTSU. She's a beautiful young lady, a great talent. She has sent me new music. So y'all want to check that out tonight at offtopradio.com. That is offtopradio.com. And then we will stream her music on offtoprecords.net. That is offtoprecords.net. And so, don't forget Thursdays, Elite One Radio. Her music will be played on that Thursday, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. with the replay at 9 p.m. Tonight, the D-Bling Radio Show, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. with the replay for 9 p.m. So I don't want y'all to miss anything. And again, thank y'all for tuning in to this show. We're going to have a great show, Damo.
Man, y'all, we got a lot to cover, man. So, if y'all missed it, here's basically what we're going to be talking about today. There was a student in Nashville, in Antioch High School, that pepper sprayed a teacher because the teacher took their phone and wouldn't give it back. All right. Then we have, I don't know if y'all seen the story out of Chicago where there was a 9-year-old boy that was being bullied. So the mother decided to walk the boy to and from school, right? And I guess on the way home, some middle school kids decided that they're going to go ahead and attack this boy. And not only did they attack the boy, but they attacked the mother, who is, quote unquote, I don't know, maybe pregnant, and the 6-year-old daughter. So we're going to be talking about that. Also, in Nashville, got a couple stories out of Nashville. There was a Lyft driver that was arrested for indecent exposure, but it wasn't just that he exposed himself. He did a little bit more than that. So we're going to go ahead and talk about that. Also, in Chicago, back to Chicago, today feel like a Chicago-Nashville thing. The property taxes in Chicago went up 100%. In some places, 200%. So we're going to be talking about that. And then last but not least, guilty by association. Why it is so important that when we see people in our community getting out of hand, that we need to start checking them and holding them accountable. And there's a price to pay when you don't. So we're going to talk about that, but y'all know how we do before we get into any of these stories, that we love to play music. I know I want to go back before I do, and I want to go to sports right quick. Congratulations to your Denver Broncos. They are now the number one team in the AFC. So congrats to your Broncos. They look nice. They look nice. And shout out to Sanders getting the first win for a starting rookie quarterback for Cleveland, or a starting quarterback, I think, in the last 25, 30 years. It's been a long time. I think it's been about 30 years. And I think that was a rookie quarterback.
Yeah. So, and just do, because when you try to do things wrong like the Browns did, or the whole league did, that young man just sat there and waited his turn. Because when you do wrong, you get wrong. So everything Cleveland tried to do, make him the 4th-string quarterback, bring Joe Flacco, then trade Joe Flacco, and at the end of the day, you still ended up making this man the starting quarterback for next week.
You know what, man? Pride has cost a lot of people a lot of things. Some people, they have a hard time admitting when they just simply made a mistake. It'd just be better for them to come out and say, hey, we got it wrong. You know what I'm saying? We got it right by accident. This is our guy. But instead of doing that, Cleveland being Cleveland, what can I say? It's the reason why they've been losing for over 3 decades. Going on 4, they keep on.
They're crazy.
I mean, man, it don't look like they gonna win a Super Bowl in my lifetime. Hell.
Woo! Not giving out contracts like they did to Deshaun Watson, boy, because his is up. After this year, he's gone, right?
Yep. And they couldn't have happened to a better. I mean, they need that to happen. Their offensive line is softer than one-ply toilet paper. I mean, it is what it is. And then the receivers, I don't know if y'all was watching that Raiders game, but the receiver, the fumble that he made, man, he should be in street clothes today. He need to be in street clothes today for that fumble. Y'all, I got to get to this music, and then I got to get back to this, y'all. We got to go ahead and get back to some of this craziness going on in the world. I was dang, man, Nashville, man, we making the headlines. So I'm kind of excited, not excited, but I'm kind of excited about that. So let's get to some music right quick. Basically right now, if you guys are watching from Twitch, Facebook, YouTube,
Instagram, So yeah, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Twitch, Bingo, all that stuff. Thank y'all for watching. Nemo, we can't hear you. You're froze. Yep, you still froze, Damo. I don't know if you're talking or not. I don't know if you can hear us or not, but yeah. All right. Well, when his part becomes unfrozen. Again, thanks everybody for watching the Nashville Caveman podcast on Tuesdays. Tuesdays is the best day of the week. Sorry if my throat still seems a little messed up. You know, when you have folks in there digging all in your nose and your back of your throat, you kind of thing. And I ain't no spring chicken no more, so it's gonna take me a while to get back to normal. But he'll come back when everything is ready. So as y'all saw, or as you heard, new music tonight for the D Bling Radio Show. If you are artists out there, or if you know any artists out there that needs radio play, tell them to send me the music at sky.black@gmail.com. That is sky.black@gmail.com. Send it to me. We have Dr. Carver who sent new music. Jay Dynasty has sent new music. I mean, come on, man. Everybody, you need to just listen and pay attention. And you don't have a reason to miss it because Tuesdays, the D Bling Radio Show is on. Thursdays, Elite One Radio Show is on. So they're playing. They're in rotation. OffTopRadio.com. That is OffTopRadio.com.
Cybernetic swag campaign.
Suede exhale, and I gotta drop down in this motherfucker. Gotta swerve out in this motherfucker. There will never be another brother coming with a second campaign. Insane in this motherfucker. Coughing up butane on bars like I got a fatal disease. So hate me please. 1,080 degrees. I'm serving niggas up. Now I gotta charge them catering fees. I call it hater disease. They call me Suede. If you like what I say, then show me the money. I know it'll be funny when the so-called men got opinions, but they broken they put me. And I gotta say, I'm a boss. I'm so sick, had to take time off. 30 seconds on the track, you know I'm walking. I'm all with the get in the laptop, dog. If you don't know, then you better back off. Call you wanna cross, better not sack off. I'ma have you looking out your window for your kinfolk. They done already got whacked off. Your car, is he ready that long? Suede that sound, is he ready that song? Bitch, nigga, here's that water. I'm off y'all for y'all caught in a campaign with a fatal cost. Gigs and chips plus you not know me equals you and live for 14 across this post, and I'll just simply show you guns as rudimentary. Ain't this a bitch? I'm sitting at the crib but I pitched a fist. I'm broke like Santa Claus on Christmas, so this is my new anger management. If you wanna call and talk that shit like you all been involved with this, know that your actions prove you don't give a fuck about me or my family pick. So nigga roll peas, I'ma be coming like a beach, jumping out the back of Belize Caprice. So better be glad I done fucked around and forgot my ski mask. So I'm about to be back and be that. Just in a representative, while I find a spot I wanna eat at. Chillin' in the keys with the cheese, I'ma be that. Nigga making me laugh and acting like they be stacked my cash. But where the fuck is your receipt at? Every little nigga that see that, I wanna be back cause they actually believe that. They be back then on point, plus Suede XL, call them dope boys cause they so moist. Shouts out to the beat clan that I know that I'm spitting this venom like a phantom when I'm getting up and I'm dirty, damn it. Throw a machete up in and sending niggas to the clinic cause they said we're finna on independent. Gigs and chips plus you not know me equals you and live for 14 cross this post, and I'll just simply show you guns as rudimentary. Suede across this post. Suede across this post. Suede across this post. Suede across this post.
Microphone and camera. And I'm still freezing. There we go. All right, there we go. So let me go ahead into this Antioch story right quick, because I think this was like, this don't normally happen in Nashville. This is something foreign to us. So I was kind of shocked when I actually came across it. Young lady, man, just pepper sprayed her teacher because the teacher told everybody to put up their phones. She didn't want to oblige. And when the teacher said something, or when he took her phone, she pepper sprayed him. Not once, not twice, but 3 times. So we're going to go ahead and get into that story, man. And then me and Sky, we're going to go ahead and talk about this.
Unconscionable that you would have to put up with something like that for $48,000 a year.
Well, tonight, for the first time, we're hearing from an Antioch High School teacher pepper sprayed by his student. He tells us he and the school are trying to file charges.
Our Marissa Sulik spoke with him today. He tells us he's had enough and plans to leave the school and the district after this.
Caleb Bates says he told his students on Friday here at Antioch High School to put their phones away inside his classroom. When one refused, he says she lunged at him, and that led to this. In this video, you can hear and see teacher Caleb Bates scream in pain. It comes after this student in the striped dress pepper sprayed him not once, but 3 different times on Friday.
I've had students cut my hair. I've had students spit on me.
Bates has taught in schools across the country. This is his first year at Antioch High School. A couple months ago, he says another student punched him in the face for taking his district-issued laptop. But this incident in the high school hallway is the reason he plans never to go back.
It got in my ear, this whole side of my face was just a bright red. Got in my mouth, nose, everything. I was coughing, hacking. It's a very unpleasant experience.
He says he tried to call for an administrator after he was first sprayed, but no one answered because the school is short-staffed. So administrators were covering for other teachers.
More happened because they were having to take on other people's responsibilities.
He says the problem doesn't lie with staff at the high school. It lies with those not working there, the students.
When I looked in that video, I couldn't see a single student in that class showing concern.
He believes the school needs money and people should write their local representatives.
And what I want to know is, why is the district not making these failing schools a priority, and why is our state legislature not funding our education system more?
Now, Bates says he will finish out the school year here at Antioch remotely, and he says he and the school are trying to press charges. In Antioch, Marissa Sulek, WSMV4.
Marissa, thank you. Metro Police.
So, I say forget. I mean, the pressing charges, that's inevitable. I say, man, I'm shocked that she failed for a year.
Yeah. I do. I just see that's the problem. See, first of all, she's a minor. So if you're going to sue anybody, you're going after the parents, right? Because as a minor, even if you suspend her, the most she's going to get is juvenile or detention center because she's under 18. But then now you're going after the parents, right? So then you can sue the parents for damages, loss of wages, pain and suffering, because this is your child. This is an extension of your household. If your child felt like it was good, first of all, to disobey. Now, the pepper spray, I ain't against, because every woman needs some type of pepper spray to protect themselves. But to use pepper spray as a force, that's where the aggravation comes from. It'd be different if the teacher was trying to come on to her, rape her, do something. All he asked was, put your phones away. It's time for school to start. If your child don't want to learn and don't want to be in school, why are they there?
Man, you know, I feel like this, right? The parents, they need to start holding these parents accountable.
Yes.
The parents need to be held accountable. You know, if you can't control your kids, then maybe you need to give your kids up to somebody who possibly can control.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're right, Sky. The children are an extension of the parent. You know, and a lot of parents will be like, well, I don't have no control over it, then maybe you shouldn't be a parent. Maybe you shouldn't be a parent then.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I think that you're right. For them to do anything to her, it'll be a slap on the wrist. But if you go after these parents, then, you know what I'm saying, maybe then man, but then it
Yeah.
goes back to this is what happened when they totally took discipline out of households. These parents, a lot of them can't control their kids. I think it's sad that a lot of parents can't raise their kids without whooping. Because, whoopings are supposed to be reserved for when a child is, when they're of an age where they don't have comprehension,
Right.
when they lack understanding.
Right.
But at some point, you got to form some kind of line of communication with them. If you can't form some sort of communication with your kids, you have no business raising kids. I'm sorry. I got no business raising.
We don't know what her situation at home is. If we don't know if she's an only child, if she got 4 or 5 young brothers and sisters that the mama has to take care of and not giving her enough attention, all this other stuff is just what's up, malfunction? It's just a product of her environment, but she's at a place where she don't want to. Sorry, y'all. She don't want to do what she's told. She don't like authority, and that's coming from the household. Somebody in her household, her mama, her dad, or her auntie is one of those people that don't like to take authority. They don't like to if they boss tell them what to do. They don't like if the police tell them what to do. They don't like if the county or the city tell them what to do. And it's just rubbed off on her. So then she's going to school like, well, you're right. I don't like the teacher telling me what to do. If I want to be on my phone all day, I should. And that's what led to where we at. Because she don't want to be told what to do. She wants to be on her phone instead of learning. Then why is she there?
This is why all middle school, and one thing that I will agree with him on, that I think that the state should fund, and that's an officer one officer at least being in the school on site, because I think on site that girl should have been arrested. No ifs, ands, or buts about it.
Yeah, because I don't even know if pepper spray is considered a weapon. Because you ain't supposed to bring no weapons on school ground. So is pepper spray considered a weapon?
Yeah, when you use it like that.
Yeah.
A fork, if you use a fork to eat, it's not a weapon. But if you use it to cause harm, it's a weapon all of a sudden.
Right.
She used it to cause harm. So, yeah, it's a weapon. And so whatever she charged with, I think she need to she need to be made an example out of in some way, right? But I think the parents need to pay a higher price than she do, because her failure is your failure.
Right.
And I'm speaking for somebody who got kids. If my kids do something like that, and then they said, you under arrest, that's on me. Because I raised them. Now, people say that ain't fair, but life ain't. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, if you can't raise them, don't have them. Simple as that.
Simple as that. That's true. It's absolutely true. And people don't think about that when they're making babies. They don't understand that. People don't understand. But the law says you're grown after 18. So even at 17 and a half, if they make a mistake, that's on you. You know what I'm saying? Till their 18th birthday, 12 o'clock a.m., 18th birthday, anything that child does is coming back to you. So if you're not ready for any type of blowback, good or bad, from a child that you brought into this world, like you said, Damo, don't happen.
Man, always, I've said this many times on the show, right? And I tell my kids this. When you walk out this door, you don't just represent you. You represent all of us.
Mm-hmm.
So, and a lot of children don't realize this, and I've made this known to them over and over and over, that the way that the world views you, they're going to view me that same way. They're going to view your mom that same way. Mm-hmm. So they view you as unruly, uncontrollable, lack mental or emotional discipline.
Mm-hmm.
Like they said, poo-poo rolls down
Mm-hmm.
So that's how they viewing me. Well, what kind of parents do he got, or what kind of parents do she got?
Mm-hmm.
For her to be out here acting like this, even as adults. When y'all get out here as adults and y'all act the fool, the first thing I know me, the first thing that come to my mind is, who raised them? That's the same. Who raised you? We say that. We all say that. Who raised you?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So people be like, I love my mama and I love my this and that. Well, when you go out here, man, that's who you represent. So when you look like a fool, they look like a fool.
That's true. Yeah, you're right. No question. Yeah, it is true, and it would be a lot more of these. I guess I'll call them heathens, but grandparents have stepped in and has took control over some of these bad kids. Because think about it, if the grandparents weren't around to take care of some of these bad kids, man, it would be worse. It would be super worse. Because if anybody's going through a PTA meeting or a PTO meeting lately, it's usually the grandparents that are there, not the parents. Because the mama's only 25, 26 years old. Yeah, she ain't think about going to no PTO meeting. But the grandmama's there, the granddaddy's there. A lot of people, when you talk to them, my grandparents raised me.
And it's not, and here's the other part, I'm going to even go deep. It's not just the parents and your siblings that you represent. And that they're not the only people you make look bad. You know who else she made look bad?
Who was that?
Us. Because the stigma is that we violent. We are violent. So that's the stereotype, man. We're violent. So when she go out there and she do that, she not. I mean, it also, man, is attached to us. Guilty by association.
Right. Yeah.
So I don't think a lot of these children or adults, I think a lot of them don't understand it. I think a lot of them do understand it, but I think the ones that do understand it, they simply don't care.
No, they don't. And that's just what's going on there. Nobody, you hear people say fund education. You hear people, politicians always talk about education. You know who really needs to care about education? The people that's in it. Everybody's always talking about funding for extra food, funding for extra teachers, more money for principals, more money for bus drivers. But if the students and the parents don't care about education, it's a waste of money. It really is. So now when people talk about education and I'm for higher education, for who? Because these new kids don't care. If it ain't green and they don't have a dead president on it, they don't care. Who cares now? And that's what we're getting to.
You know why that message don't come across and resonate with people? Mm-mm. You know why it's never resonated? Because it's a total contradiction. They always talking about fund this and fund that, but then are the kids, the more money they get, are the kids getting more smarter?
No.
Actually, I had this thought, right? And I was like, man, because when you're in solitude and your mind get to just thinking about random stuff, and I was like, doesn't it seem like the more advanced we get with technology, and technology is supposed to represent the dawn of logic and reason. And it seems like the more advanced we get in technology, the less common sense we have.
Oh, yeah. A lady told me a long time ago, smartphones was making us stupid. Prior to that, we had like Rolodex, and some of y'all don't even know what those are. The little Rolodex numbers. We had to carry like a little book with phone numbers in them, and you had to at least memorize 5 emergency numbers. So that way you could make it to a pay phone. If you lost your old cell phone or you wasn't at home, you could knock on the neighbor's door and say, hey, can I use your phone? And you knew by heart, outside of 911, 5. Now, nobody that I know of has, if they lose their phone, they can't call nobody.
Think about this. If they really care, right? Because the issue isn't the lack of funding. See, that's where he's wrong at. It's not the lack of funding. You know what the issue is? The structure of the home.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying.
Broken homes.
If the parents don't care about the education, the kids are not going to care about the education. So no matter how much money you put into the system of the buildings or fixing the road, it's like people say, I want my community fixed, right? You spend all this money fixing it up, and then you come outside and there's people just littering all over the place. Like that's asinine, that's ass backwards. So
It's a
everybody's
contradiction.
thinking about the inner cities and how we need to help them and fund better education and do all this stuff. And then you go to the inner cities and you see they sitting at these desks not giving a damn. They don't care. They can care less.
You know, it's just like the after school. They need funding for programs. Well, you know what? Man, when you got two-parent homes, you know, if you talk to people in two-parent homes, that's not an issue. They'll find activities to do. You know, a lot of these parents just want to dump their kids on the program and let the program become the babysitter.
Mm-hmm.
They don't even do. Most of these kids have more experiences with these programs than they do with their own parents.
Mm-hmm.
Think
School
about
is
that.
a big daycare.
Yes, these programs become daycares.
Right.
So the parent don't invest enough time into the kids to teach them anything.
And what if they wanted to, Damo? Most of these girls, 16, 17, 18, that had babies that dropped out. So then you're 28 and your child is in, let's say, middle school and she needs your help to do math. What math can you do? You dropped out of high school at 17 years old because you was pregnant. What algebra, calculus, trigonometry you gonna help your child with? What social studies can you help you? So even if you wanted to, you didn't even finish school. So you gonna yell at your child for making D's and C's or F's, and you didn't even finish school. So then that right there in itself would be hypocritical.
This whole thing of children,
Dr. Paula?
this whole thing of, you
Hey,
know,
tune
man,
in to
the
play your
unruly
music.
children is it's an epidemic. This next story is gonna show that. I mean, this is an issue that just across the board, man, where I just think that they need to become harder on parents. They literally do. Because a lot of these kids are out of control, and I put it on the parent. I'm sorry, a lot of y'all parents may not agree with that, but I do put this stuff on. Here's another example.
So outraged in Chicago after video captures a mother and her 9-year-old son being harassed and then badly beaten by grade school children while walking near a school. We talked to two leaders of that Chicago community in just a moment, but first, let's go to Mike Tobin live there with the details. Good morning, Mike.
So let me pause this right quick. For y'all that kind of didn't understand what was going on there was a 9-year-old boy that had been bullied for 2 years, right? Now, the mother addressed this issue with the school, who a lot of times we understand you go tell a teacher something and they blow it up. Or you go tell somebody that something's going on and then they don't address it right then and there, right? And then things escalate into a fight or into something bigger, and then they want to go and discipline the children or whatnot, right? Then they want to punish. But in this situation, the mother had, after 2 years of getting no response or little to no response from the school, she decided, well, hey, I'll walk my child to school for his safety. And while she's walking the child to school, the kids are not only bullying the child who is 9, and a lot of these kids are, you know, same grade school, a few of them in middle school. They're bullying the mama too. So then, you know, one of them attacked the children. Then one of them gets bold enough and attack the mama. And once one of them attacked the mama, a group of them attacked the mama. So now the mama can't even defend the boy because they done threw the mama on the ground, and now the mama getting attacked. And somebody hit the little 6-year-old girl. You see what I'm saying? And they want to throw more money at what? What's getting better? Where's this money going? Somebody is not, because schools have become worse, in my opinion. From the time I left it, even before I left it. They were cutting programs left and right. You know, auto mechanic shops was getting cut. They used to do driver's ed in school. They got cut. You know, welding got cut. Carpentry got cut. And so a lot of these programs, they've been cut. But then they keep dumping more money into these school systems. And it's like, well, what are they really getting out of?
And you know what? And it's sad, but I'm glad this is on video because now she needs to sue the school, the district, and the city because if she has paperwork saying that she's been up here X amount of times to the school, they didn't do nothing, and she talks to the Board of Education and they didn't do nothing, then this is a lawsuit that needs to happen. But I'm telling you to answer your question, why they cut all them things, Damo, because nobody was going to them. When I was coming up, we had all those things. It was called an apprenticeship. You know, you didn't have to go to a 2-year college or a 4-year college. So if you wanted to do welding and all this stuff, they had programs where you would go be an apprentice under somebody, learn the trade and make, at the time in 95, 96, $17, $18 an hour, which was good money back then. But somewhere around the way, people just like musical arts. Oh, you cut the music, but nobody going to them. These after school programs would just be empty because these kids were like, you know what, I'm bored. I don't want to do this. I'm going to go home. I'm going to hang out in the streets. Boys and girls clubs, community centers. That's what they were for us to go to, so we would stay out of trouble. But somewhere around the way, they quit going. So if these kids are not going, the people that's funding them is like, you're not gonna keep putting money in something that children ain't going. And you know why the kids ain't going? Because the mamas are like, oh yeah, it's fine. You just sit here and watch TV. No, get your butt out of here. It's 4 o'clock. School is over with. You've done your homework. Go to the community center for 2-3 hours where cue ball, well, that's the guy we would beat the hell out of you if you was, doing wrong. I've seen him chase kids home through the projects, right? But they took away all that because, oh no, it's fine. You don't have to go nowhere. Boy, just sit at home. And that's why they took all the money out of these programs and shut them down.
Man, it's this ridiculous. You got to listen to the rest of this, y'all. Yeah. It's this ridiculous.
Mike.
Good morning. Parents and, frankly, people all over Chicago are now kind of horrified and outraged at this video that's not going viral. It has gone viral of a mother and a 9-year-old son who were mobbed and beaten by a group of school-age bullies. Now, the video is a bit brutal, so be ready for that. But it shows this mother and the aggressiveness of the kids increasing as Korshwanda Hatter tries to protect her son. Finally, this mob of youngsters started to strike Korshwanda and her 9-year-old son. They were both knocked to the ground, and the beating continued.
Hey, fool, let my homie go. Let my homie go. Let my
She says her son had been bullied at. She says her son had been bullied at school for 2 years, and the school did nothing to protect him. So she showed up to walk her kids home. Now, Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson did say, he put out a statement on X that he was deeply disturbed, and we should not attempt to normalize this type of senseless violence. Chicago police put out a statement saying both victims were transported to Trinity Hospital in serious condition. No one is in custody at this time. The Area 2 detectives are investigating. And Illinois State Senator Willie Preston said this video is a symptom of something that's been going on for a long time, that the kids have not been held accountable and the parents have not been held accountable for the actions of their children. Guys, back to you.
All right. Thanks so much. So our next guests know this family very well. Chicago Councilmember Joseph Williams met with the mom after the attack, and Pastor Corey Brooks, founder of Project Hood, knows the boy who attends his after-school and summer programs. Gentlemen, thanks so much for joining the program.
Yeah, I know.
Pastor, this is something that you have been working with for years now, trying to stop nonsense like this with our young people. What's going on?
Well, unfortunately, this is the cycle that we continue to see in the city of Chicago, where violence is so rampant and parents are being held unaccountable. And that's the reason why I'm walking across America, trying to get people to wake up in our urban areas so they can understand the magnitude of the issues that we're faced with every single day. Chicago is just a microcosm of what's going on across America. These young people are unruly. They have no moral compass. And we need organizations to really work hard to make sure we change the direction of our neighborhoods. If we're ever going to change the trajectory of our young people, we got to catch them early. We got to continue to do the work. But the tragedy is, in Chicago right now, we're facing some devastation that has been going on for years, and we need to get a handle on it.
This is what the mother had to say about this incident.
Yeah, I know, Dr. Carver. That's crazy.
I'm trying to get justice for my son. They fought my son. They hit my son first, all in his face. Then they dragged me in the grass and pulled my little baby hair.
We haven't held these kids accountable. We haven't held parents accountable. No mother should be that helpless and be targeted by children inside of her own community.
Councilman, where is the fear and respect? I remember growing up, we were afraid of the neighbors because we knew that they was going to get us, and then our parents was going to get us when we got home as well. None of that respect seems to exist anymore.
You know why? Because ain't no daddies around.
Babies having babies.
Your babies having babies. You got it. Babies having babies.
Your mama's 25 with 3 kids and no man in the house. Come on now.
What do they and you know what? They promote that. They promote it. Oh yeah. Oh, you gotta in order for the woman to get these benefits, she can't have no husband. She can't have no man in the house. They promote this behavior. I don't understand the outrage when this is the behavior that they promote. What do they think they're going to get when you have a lot of these homes and no fathers around? You incentivize these women to have kids.
And I'm confused about the police. Why ain't nobody been arrested? First of all, somebody recorded this. So in my mind, they must have knew it was coming. They knew that this woman and her son was gonna come. Somebody took out their phone and recorded this, knowing that. So this is premeditated because nobody just takes out their phone for no reason. Somebody recorded this, and then you gonna record me beating up a woman and her 2 kids. That's stupid in itself right there. If y'all was going to do this, why would you record this so it would go live? That means everybody's face, even though it blurred it for us, everybody's face is on there for the police to see. So they should get every child and every parent, and everybody should suffer.
I'm glad you said that, Sky, because this in both of these scenarios, what did we see? In both of these scenarios, somebody was recording the incident. People, I think little children can feel a situation escalating and possibly getting to both of these endings, and they take out their phone and start recording. I got to capture this moment. I think what they need to do is whatever punishment they got for the people involved, they need to have the same punishment for the person that literally took the time to record it.
Yes.
I don't know what it is.
And didn't try to stop it. And didn't try to say, hey, y'all, stop. Don't do this. Somebody call the police. Everybody's just out there just doing their thing. Okay, cool. Y'all want to be adults? Y'all want to beat up on an adult? I think you should try them as an adult, which ain't going to happen. But that's just how I feel. You know what I'm saying?
They need to go after these parents. I'm sorry, man. If the rest of the children in the household go to the system, hey, you did that to your siblings. These parents need to do some serious jail time.
Absolutely.
I mean, this is ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? And the reason why it keeps happening over and over is because they're not holding these parents accountable.
Yeah.
You know?
And you're right, if she would have sworn first, then they would have went after her for attacking children. But she's sitting there up against the fence trying to protect the little boy that's been bullied the whole time and the other child. And they just don't, they look like a pack of wolves. They look like something you would see in Animal Kingdom out in Africa. A pack of wolves attacking this one little baby hyena. That's what it looked like.
You know what, Sky? Remember that video? And you are absolutely right, Faith. If that was the other way around, and the mother attacked the kids, she would be in jail. No questions asked.
No questions asked.
right? First and foremost. Second of all, remember that story we played where the woman was singing "Happy Birthday"? And you look like a monkey. You smell like 1, 2. And the woman was up. The mother was upset because it sets this overtone that we look like monkeys and we act like monkeys, uncontrollable.
And look at this video. And look at this video.
Yes.
Yes. And look at this video. And like the guy said, nobody's scared of their parents no more. You get a whooping in the neighborhood, and then you go home and get another whooping. They're not doing that no more. Because again, your mammy at 25 with 3 or 4 kids, she ain't thinking about whooping shit. She still thinking about going out, going to the club, hair done, nails done. She ain't thinking about none of that stuff. And like you said, Damo, it's not hard to convince a 25-year-old woman not to get married. She has 3 kids, and the government comes in and say, hey, don't get married. Don't have this man. We're going to take care of you. Okay. And then on the weekend, she brought the kids off to the grandparents, and then she out in the club. So do you honestly, what there is no parenting. There is none whatsoever.
This is why when all this stuff was going on, the government shut down and stuff, I didn't have a problem with it. I think, man, things need to reset. The order needs to be reset. Because I think, man, right now, there's too many people dependent on the government. There's too many single-parent households. And then from them single-parent households, you get this. Exhibit A, Exhibit B, Exhibit C. You see all this stuff. You know what I'm saying? And I will give props to a lot of people in Chicago. Because, man, they went after them parents. A lot of them, man, them kids start doing apology video.
I saw one girl do. Yeah, I saw one girl do it. Yeah.
They was on them kids.
The guy on here, Damo, that's talking about doing Project Hood. Project Hood is only good if people want to be there. That's like a drug addict. You can't force somebody on drugs to get off of drugs if they don't want to get off of drugs. You can't force Negroes to get out the street if they don't want to get out the street. So you can have all the programs in the world, but if these kids don't want to go and the parents don't make them go, it's just a building full of chairs. That's it. That's all it is.
And this is why I am for taking funding. It's just like with the homeless. Like they don't think it's fair that they arresting homeless. Well, you got all these programs and shelters that you could go to. I found out working around homeless that majority of them don't go to shelters because they don't want to follow the rules of the shelter. Well, okay then. Well, guess what then? This is the consequence of that. You can't just lay up on this business because you want to. You can't just do this because you want to. Everybody got to follow rules somewhere. No matter what level you on, everybody got to follow some sort of rules. You see what I mean? And so I think that, yes, certain privileges should be taken away. Okay, you don't want to do this? Then fine. But I do agree with this. I think they need to come down very hard on parents. They are too light on a lot of these parents.
They're giving them too many sympathy.
Yeah, too much sympathy.
That's all it is, And sometimes I can see the sympathy. But me and you, we do this show for the majority. And the majority just didn't care at the time that they was making these kids. And then the kids get of age, you ain't whooped them, you ain't scared them, that ain't scared of you. So they go to school, they ain't scared of the principal, they ain't scared of the teachers, and then they ain't scared to whoop a grown woman and her child walking down the street trying to go home. Chicago, boy. Woo. And then they upset when they talk about Trump is going to send in the National Guard. Well, now I guess he don't have a choice because we thought we were scared of the gangs, like the real gangs. Well, what about these subgroup gangs that are beating up on parents and kids just walking from school?
Think about this, Sky. A lot of these kids aren't even afraid of the police.
No, they're not. No.
That's why they get in these incidents with the police that they get into. And they be like, oh, the police this, the police that. Don't get me wrong. It is some horrible police. I think there's horrible people in no matter what career you get into. I'm quite sure some horrible firemen, some horrible paramedics, some horrible nurses and teachers. I get it, right? But with that said, man, I just think you're right. A lot of these children do not fear their parents. They took corporate discipline out of homes. I think that corporate discipline should only be, up to a certain age. I think when the kid get to a certain age, if you ain't got through to them, then you need to give that child up. Because obviously, man, you're not built to be a parent. At some point, if whoopings don't work, and whoopings at some point won't work, you got to form some form of communication. But it makes sense to me because a lot of people don't even know how to communicate with their spouse. They don't even know how to work things out with their significant other. So what are they going to teach a child?
It's going to get worse before it gets better.
It's the blind leading the blind.
Yep.
So it don't shock me.
Well, it's gonna get worse before it gets better because I tell folks, sex is the only drug that is easy to get to and rare that you go to jail for it unless you're out here raping or kidnapping folks. Other than that, you have a 16-year-old and a 16-year-old having sex. Well, here comes these kids, and there we go. It's gonna get worse before it gets better. And I don't know how you stop folks from, like you said, that's not ready to be parents becoming parents, because a lot of these single parents, even if you took away the government, still wouldn't have a man in the home.
You know what I think they need? You know what I think that needs to happen? If they're going to invest money into anything, right? I think if you aren't married, even with the married couples, but I don't think they should be as prioritized. But when it's evident that this is a single parent home, I think they need to start hiring, instead of hiring all these IRS agents, hire people that's going to be like caseworkers. Where I think that a lot of caseworkers need to be more involved with families and see what's actually going on, interacting with the kid and seeing if the kid is in an environment that's that's conducive to their upbringing. I think, that maybe once a week, just like people got parole officers, they need to go see a caseworker. And the caseworker need to sit there with the parent and then with the child and have an understanding of what is actually going on in the household. Somebody needs to get involved.
That could, boy, but you better hire a lot of caseworkers because there's a lot of families out there that's just, they have more caseworkers than police.
Maybe that's the way they need to go. If they're gonna be taxing, if they're gonna be taxing people the way that they taxing them, maybe that's where the tax money need to go.
That could be true too. But and if this is happening in Chicago, I can imagine what's happening anywhere else. And in other places that see this, because we're a copycat society, right? That's why you have serial killers. One serial killer does something, then somebody else does something. You have one school shooter, you have another school shooter. You know what I'm saying? We're a copycat society. So everybody that's seen this, now who knows who's going to be the next city that's going to show a bunch of kids just beating up anybody, a homeless person, an old person, it's no way.
This ain't the first time in Chicago that this been a thing. This is a thing in Chicago.
Yeah.
I mean, this was a thing in Chicago 20, 30 years back. I remember a case of this young man who was from Fanger High School, an honor student, making his way home. A fight broke out, and then somebody took one of them railroad planks and hit him in the head with it, and then he got jumped by 4 dudes, and before you know it, he lost his life. And wasn't even really involved in the situation, just found himself in the situation because he went to the same school and he going home with these kids. So this is nothing new. They should have been punishing parents. They should have been.
Where we live in. You damned if you do, you damned if you don't, right? Because me growing up, when we had to walk from school, they would teach you walk in packs. Like, you know what I'm saying? Walk in packs, so that way can't no stranger come up and just snatch you. If you walk by yourself, that's more dangerous than walking in a pack. And the story you just told, the young man was walking in a pack, and he still ended up getting killed. So that's why I'm saying you damned if you do, you damned if you don't, right? That's
crazy. I think what they need to do is incentivize people to get married. meaning that there's a huge tax break for those who are married. Maybe you don't pay as much taxes. And they need to do something to incentivize families to become whole units again. Because right now, they are promoting single-parent homes.
Right,
and then these are the results. And then they're whining about the results of that. What did y'all think was going to happen?
Right.
If mama working 2 jobs, who's watching the kid? The streets. Other people.
Yep.
So.
But you know what? Even again, prior to this, the whatever you call it, social services, there were still women doing the same thing, having a bunch of kids and not getting married. And even if you take them away, even if you take all this stuff away today, there still will be a bunch of women out here having kids and not getting married. And that's just them.
Yeah.
That's just them.
I just think that they need to. I do believe that, but I believe that if they incentivize families, like you get a better. If you get married, you get a better interest rate, right, on a home when you purchase a home. You know, or you get, or you marry, your kids get better student loan rates. I think they can incentivize in some way, somehow. You know, or maybe you get a tax credit, a large tax credit every year for being married.
Well, why should we incentivize common sense, right? Common sense should tell you should court, get to know somebody, get married, then have kids. That should just be common sense, right? Why should we incentivize common sense? Why should we have to tell young men and women?
Not common.
Don't you know how you did the prom promise where you promised you weren't gonna have sex during the prom? Why do we have to tell grown people not to have sex until they're ready? That don't even make sense.
It's not common. It's not common. I mean, I know we call it common sense, but it's not common. And not only that, but the majority of people don't have self-discipline. They come from homes that don't have where there was no self-discipline.
Yep.
They come from these homes.
They want their short-term satiation. Yes, they do. They want their short-term gratification, but then they'll destroy the rest of your life, and you're going to be a victim for the rest of your life. You know what I'm saying? I mean, nobody's perfect. Don't get me wrong. Nobody's perfect, but we're just saying it's a lot of y'all who watched other people suffer, and you did the same thing. Now, the first group of people who didn't have that and they suffered, fine, I get it. Somebody has to suffer. But the next group of people, all of y'all saw these people suffer, and you still went down the same path. That's what blows my mind. Huh?
Yeah, you're right. You end up doing it. It's that cycle, that continued cycle. I seen my mama struggle trying to raise us, but they don't look at it like that. They like, well, my mama did fine, right? They didn't watch mama crying in the middle of the night, you know, wondering, man, how she gonna get food in the house or how she gonna get this bill paid. They wasn't there with mama when mama was, going through depression, because mama hid that from them. They look at it, a lot of these kids look at it like, well, mama did fine, so I think I'll be fine also.
Right.
That's their mindset.
Yeah. Well, you're right, Faye. Even in marriages, there are bad children. Even coming out of marriages, even people that have 2-parent homes, they're bad kids. When you bring a child into this world, there's no warranty and no instructions, right? None. So your child can grow up to be the president, or your child can grow up to be Jeffrey Dahmer. You don't know. What we're saying is, it's just statistics say the majority will be better in a 2-parent home. Not everybody, because the Menendez brothers was in a 2-parent home and they killed both of their damn kids. You know what I'm saying?
But hey, Stein, I mean, we don't even need statistics to say it. Prior to the 60s, we didn't have all this black-on-black murders. We didn't have the crime. It was always crime. Crime been around since the dawn of time. But when there were 2 parents, you wasn't seeing this stuff.
Right. And even
you
when
wasn't seeing kids, group of children jumping on parents.
Right. But even when it wasn't 2 parents, you know who was there? The Black Panther Party. They policed their neighborhoods. They were the daddies and the big brothers. Any of the little young Negroes that out of line, the Black Panthers took care of them. The police didn't have to come. Anybody committing crime in that neighborhood, they didn't call the police. They called the Black Panther. So when the Black Panther was around, even if you was a single mom or your husband cheated or he died, They was, but when they got rid of the Black Panther, then they brought into the food stamps in Section 8, then it goes into what you were saying.
I mean, the proof is in the pudding, man. This stuff, these things, I mean, in 60, 70 years ago, you weren't hearing about children attacking teachers.
Right.
That wasn't a thing. You know, you weren't hearing about, man, a group of children acting like animals, jumping on a grown person. People used to fear grown folk. You didn't even hear people yelling and cussing out the police. People don't respect anybody anymore. So it's like, yeah, I agree. I don't think every household is going to be perfect. There's going to always be some dysfunction because a lot of it anyway. But I think the majority of the society will be fine.
Right. And then there's some single parents, moms or dads, whose children ain't done nothing like that. I mean, we know the majority will say single parent homes, their kids will become heathens, but there are some single parents who did the right thing and raised their kids the right way. And then there are some two-parent homes who did the right thing and their kids are sitting in prison. So if nothing's perfect, we're just trying to find a medium to where we don't have to see videos like this.
Okay.
Well, it's incentive or not, faith. People get married for the wrong reason all the time. So even if you don't incentivize, and that's why we say there's a lot of two-parent homes that are just two-parent homes on paper. They're not two-parent homes in real life. The mom and the dad is just together because they can't afford to live apart. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, we're not saying that anything is perfect. We're just saying that if you just look at it, some of the times when you look at these things, a two-parent household sometimes can be better than a single-parent household. But again, like I said, we've seen two-parent households to raise a bunch of criminals that you see on the first 48 of true crime. And we've seen some single-parent households to raise good guys to go into the NFL, to give back to their community, and all that good stuff. But in Chicago, they need a two-parent home because that's the narrative. That's what we're talking about today in Chicago. They need two-parent homes. I'm sorry, whether you incentivize those or not, they need it.
Most kids, I say all kids need a two-parent home. Now, those two parents, the kids' parents, do play a large part of it. Like, what is a two-parent home if both parents are terrible, right? But we kids that come from rich homes still go out and do drugs, and they come from affluent backgrounds and still don't do what's right. Right? But I think at the end of the day, I think a lot of that is just a lot of parents aren't teachers. The number one job of a parent is to be a teacher and leader. And a lot of parents fail with that. They fail with it. And a lot of them can't do it because they're working. They're working 1 and 2 jobs trying to survive. So they can't even be there to become a leader.
Hell, sometimes some of these parents, the daddy's working 2 jobs, the mama's working 2 jobs, so the streets are still raising them in a 2-parent household.
Right.
So I mean, you know, it's I don't know. I don't have an answer for parenting because everybody's child is different. Everybody's parenting style is different. I'm just going off of what we just saw in that video. That I agree. A lot of them probably are coming out of single-parent households where there's no daddy or the daddy's in jail and the streets have raised those kids. I will agree from the video that we saw because they don't fear consequences. I mean, if you would have told any of those kids what would have happened to them if they'd have done this, they probably wouldn't have done it. But when you don't fear consequences, man, them kids out there beating them like they stole something.
I want people to realize this too. If they ever pay attention to this, watch these news stories and you will see, when you ever see these news stories, these tragic news stories, count the number of men that are in the video when they're doing these news stories. See any men around. I want y'all to start paying attention to that. That's one thing. Where's any male representation? In both of these scenarios, you know what I'm saying? You'll see these always the mother coming out and having to speak, or a grandmother or an aunt. No men around. And that's a problem. Let me go to this next. I think even the bigger issue is we need to do a better job as a community of holding each other accountable. And there's a price to pay when you don't. So I'm going to play this video, and then we're going to go ahead and discuss this. I thought this was very interesting. Basically, these women was at this restaurant. A fight broke out between two women. They kicked the women that was out at another table. They weren't in with these women. They kicked them out too. Let's watch this and talk about it.
Somebody break it up.
This is sad, y'all.
My sister Circles and I were out celebrating our Friendsgiving. We arrived at the restaurant. Shortly after arriving, we only had time to give drink orders. We didn't even get our drinks. And a physical altercation happened between two African-American women. We did not know them. We were not affiliated with them. They were at another table. They began to fight. The situation was diffused by management and other staff members. The management came over to our table and told us that they would not be servicing us tonight. We had to leave. I questioned, are you shutting the entire restaurant down for tonight? No, we're just not servicing you all because y'all like to fight. We became shocked, confused, and he did that in front of the entire restaurant, in front of all the other patrons. No one else was asked to leave but us.
So to recap that, for anybody that possibly didn't follow what happened, two African American women, they were at a restaurant, they broke. Now I'm guessing one of them was up there with a camera phone, always people with a camera phone, sitting there recording. Instead of intervening and breaking it up, they're standing back. So because they were so close in proximity, and they're black too, they thought that, and they were recording it, they thought that maybe that they were associated with them. So not only did they kick them women out, they kicked those women out also. Told them they would not be servicing them because they're not going to service anybody that like to deal with fight. That likes to fight. And they were confused and upset by it. But this is the consequence, guilty by association. I went through a scenario that I could tell you that I was, in a situation where I was guilty by association. I had a cop pull me over in the hood. They were looking for a young black man with a gun, and just so happened that I was in of the area that they were looking for this young man. So the cop drew his weapon down on me. Down on the ground, asking me all these questions. For a while, I was upset at this cop. This is when I was young. This is when I was working with Kids Club, which was right down the street from where this whole scenario took place. And for the longest, I was upset at that cop. What clicked, Sky? But some years later, I was like, no, had not been in that area, they had no business doing. They should have been mad at them women. Because what do they think? When one of us go out here and do something, all of us, what do they think they're saying? A few bad apples spoils a bunch. Where do they think that? That's what that means. And it's unfortunate, but you know, man, when women and men, when we don't want to hold each other accountable, and other groups of people affiliate us, we get mad at them people. To do this, there's a time and a place. Because it's not y'all, because some women, I'm quite sure, they didn't care who it affected and how people was viewing them or people that look like them. They didn't care at all. But we don't do it in music. As a former musician, if somebody would have held me accountable, I would have had to take that on the chin. They would have been right. Yeah, man, you out here promoting this and this and that. They would have been right. What I'm going to tell them? Oh, man, this is just the life I live. I just lived this life. You know, I'm just telling my story. No, you're profiting off of, you know what I'm saying, ignorance, stupidity, dumb stuff. That's what you're doing. We don't hold each other accountable. So when you don't, these are consequences sometimes.
Yeah, that's true, Damo. Thank you for telling us that story. So I'm the NTSU. This had to be 2000 and something. I can't remember. I'm sitting in class. I don't know if y'all remember the Gen of 6 that happened in Louisiana. The 3 white guys that fought the 3 black guys, little teenage boys. But what made it make the news is when one of the white guys came back and he threw a noose over the tree. You know, boys are going to fight no matter what the color is. They weren't even worried about that. When they came back and they threw the noose over the tree, that's when it made national headlines, right? So I'm sitting in class and there's this young white lady, which she had a point. She said, "My generation, how long are we going to have to suffer for things that we didn't control?" She was like, "I had to do extra stuff to get into this class that a black girl didn't because of the color of my skin." And I told her, I said, "You are absolutely right. I shouldn't hold you accountable today for what your great grandparents did in slavery, right? But what's holding you accountable is your cousins." She wasn't related to them. I was just being funny. They down you in Tennessee, they in Louisiana throwing nooses over trees, which is bringing up racism, which then you get, that's where your affirmative action, all this stuff is coming from. So this is why certain white people will always have to do certain things that black people don't have to do, because even you were sitting in Tennessee in this classroom saying, "Why am I being punished?" is because you have white people that you've never met before in your life in a whole other state doing stupid stuff to make sure that you have to keep paying shit, that you've never done. So now back to this story. Because these women are black and they got to fighting, and y'all are black and probably look hood too, and you was recording, how they know that y'all didn't stage that fight to be put on the gram or the Instagram or recording? So do I kind of feel bad for them? Thing a little bit, but yeah, like you said, wrong place, wrong time, right? Because I'm thinking if it was 2 white people, 2 Italian people, 2 Russian people, they would have put out the white people, the Italian people, of the Russian people. Y'all just have to be a group of black women who didn't know these black women. And because these black women did something stupid, the owners of the restaurant like, "We don't want no black people in here, no black women in there." And since it's a private establishment, if that went down, there's no discrimination or racism, because discrimination or racism, if he would have came over there and said, "We want y'all to leave with no probable cause," that is a probable cause, because every time they allow black people in this establishment, this is going on. You know what I'm saying? So it's a catch-22 in that situation.
Well, you know, Sky, we do it to them.
Yeah.
So we gonna get upset when they do it? Because, man, you know, of course. And I'll flip this around. If you're white or you're Asian or you're Hispanic and you see somebody representing your community in a way that it makes it look negative, all of y'all should come down hard on them. All of y'all. Y'all should make y'all feelings known. You making us look bad. Yes. Them women, instead of talking about, "Oh, this is sad," they should have been, not only breaking it up, but then they should have been telling them, "Y'all making us look bad."
Mm-hmm.
They represent us too. You know what I'm saying? And then if we got to go out here as a group and settle this, then that's what we going to do. Because as a group, y'all making us look bad.
Yeah. They ain't gonna tell what they got to fighting for. Who knows what them 2 women got to fighting for? But why do it in the restaurant? Why not go outside and do it? Y'all did it in the restaurant. And the whole story is not being told in my mind. This is just my mind. That wasn't the first time African Americans or blacks got to fighting in that restaurant. Because we all about money, Damo. So even if these girls over here didn't do nothing, I'm kicking them out. That's money that I'm losing. When you get fed up, it had to be more than just that one fight. That was just the straw that broke the camel's back. Look, we're going to lose money on these black people and keep them out, even though they had nothing to do with it, because we tired of these black people coming in here fighting, being disrespectful, rude, not tipping. That's what happened to them. This was the straw that broke the camel's back, and they just had to get the wind of it, of what happened. And that's just it. It's like if you have a white cop and he's pulled over 9 black people and they've all tried to shoot him and stab him and run him over. By the time he pulled my black ass over, I see why I'm on the ground with his gun drawn out, because that nigga that he didn't pull it over and tried to harm him. I'm just happen to be nigga number 10 that just had to come through. So that's what they were. They were just the 10 black women who just had to catch the fire because 9 black people that came through there and it showed they black asses, and now they don't want none of y'all.
If people be concerned or they have a problem with people having a misperception of them, well, you know what? That's not on them. That's on us.
Right.
We got to correct that. I don't care, no matter what community you part of, your community has to correct that. If they're not going to hold each other accountable, what are we talking about here? So if we all get lumped into one group, then it is what it is. I don't care if you're white and you see somebody make them a racist remark, and you don't tell them they racist piece of shit, right? And then you get lumped in with that, then guess what? Take that lump on the head. We got to start correcting our own people.
Mm-hmm.
And if we don't want to get lumped in it, then, hey, say something. Be loud with it.
Yeah.
And I don't agree with that. That, man, go on over there with that. I don't respect that.
Yeah. And so from here on out, if they put on the door no shoes, no shirts, no colors, I wouldn't be upset. Because every time you let colored people in your business, they sit there fighting and throwing shit around.
I mean,
you know what I'm saying? Like, people think, oh, they're racist, they're being discriminated. Until you own this business and they got you on camera, and every time you get play on that camera, there's minorities sitting here tearing your stuff up. I ain't against them saying stuff like that, because if I owned the business, I wouldn't want to have to keep cleaning that stuff up neither. Look at all those white people sitting there just like, oh my God, what's going on? You know what I'm saying? They tearing off to the floor.
Think about this, guy. If I like wearing dreads, right? And then I see a joker that's out here robbing folks and he's wearing dreads, I got an issue with him. Man, you affecting me. Because now their perception of when they see, especially when they done seen, well, the majority of the people I see, they wear poo shiesty. It's cold. Now I got to be worried about when I put a mask on. And I'm just wearing one because I'm cold. You wearing one because you ignorant. You're making me look bad, man.
That's the hell we live in.
I don't want nothing to do with you. You ignorant. Yeah. I don't want nothing to do with you. I'm not going to entertain you. You're not one of me. You're not invited to the cookout. Yep. You misrepresenting us.
Yep. That's the hell we live in every culture, every race, every religion, every ethnicity. That's the hell that we live in, because there's always going to be a subgroup of people that don't care. They just don't care.
And you gotta be on them. You gotta be loud and let them know that they are not welcome.
Yeah.
That they are not a part of
the people that start their own community there, right? Like you said, those white people in Arkansas, those black people in Atlanta that bought their land. See, some of that is what you're saying. Hey, we need to start our own, and we're only letting people in that believes in what we're talking about, or how we, like you said, if we can't police the world, well, we're going to buy a piece of property and we're going to police that ourselves. We ain't got to worry about all this kids beating up on grown folks. We're going to have our own little town, our own little community. So, yeah, that's why a lot of that starting, because they feel just like you. It's like, well, damn, if we can't tell a certain group of people how to act, without making us look bad, well, how don't we just start our own thing and keep those certain people out, and that way we ain't got to worry about it.
As the old saying goes, if you can't change the people around you, then you got to go change the people around you. As simple as that. This next story, man, it's always a concern of mine, man, because, you know, when you got women in your family and you got daughters, and then you worrying about when they catch lips and then stuff like this, and this is too close for home, because this is Nashville that this happened in. And so, not good.
Katie, thank you. A crime alert tonight as a local Lyft driver faces charges after a passenger says he exposed himself and then touched himself while driving.
Metro Police arrested the man over the weekend more than a year after the allegation.
Fox 17 News' Madeline Nolan is live in North Nashville with what investigators say happened in the car and how experts say you can protect yourself before you ever get into a rideshare.
Yes, Scott, when your ride arrives, many of us, check our license plate to make sure that it matches what's on the app. But safety experts tell me it's when you get inside the vehicle when your alertness matters the most. An arrest affidavit claims Lyft driver Joseph Langhans picked up a female rider back in February of 2024. Investigators say while driving near Ezel Pike and Murfreesboro Road, he made sexual comments, exposed himself, played pornography on his phone, mounted to the dash, and began touching himself while driving. The passenger told police she ignored him and answered a phone call from her sister. She later filed a police report. Langhans was identified through a photo lineup and arrested over the weekend.
You never know, and a lot of bad things have happened.
Riders like Hannah Emily say they try not to use ride shares alone, while others ensure a third party has their ride information at all times.
I would 100% text somebody and let them know, hey, I'm taking an Uber. Here's my location. Just hear back from me when I'm home.
A Lyft spokesperson told me, quote, the behavior described is reprehensible and has no place in the Lyft community. We permanently removed the driver from the platform and stand ready to assist law enforcement.
You don't owe this person anything other than the business transaction you have agreed upon, the set price to take you to this destination. Conversation was not part of the deal, nor should it be.
Rob Chadwick, a former FBI special agent and now training advisor for the U.S. Concealed Carry Association, says riders should sit in the back seat, preferably behind the driver, limit personal conversation, and monitor your route. He says trust your instinct, and if you feel something's wrong, end the ride immediately.
We are our first responders. We have to become an active stakeholder in our own safety and security and take some proactive steps to do that.
Now, according to Chadwick, your first priority should be getting yourself to the safest place possible. It should not be to call a 911, knowing that response times could leave you in a bind for quite some time alone. Reporting live here in North Nashville, I'm Madeline Nolan, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
So there we go.
Like you said, Damo, it's always a small group of people to make everybody else look bad, right? One bad apple can spoil the basket, but one good apple can't unspoil the basket, right? So if you have a bunch of good apples and you put a bad one in there, all of them will turn bad over time. But if you have a bunch of bad apples and you put a good one, no, the good apple will turn bad over time. It doesn't reverse like that, right? But it's like Craigslist. Everybody knows that Craigslist, when it first came out, was a good product, right? What happened was criminals was using the back page of Craigslist to rob people, to do sexual things. The homosexual community was using the back of it to meet up with other homosexuals and all this stuff. There's always going to be a subgroup of criminals, no matter what you do, that's going to do this. That man has nothing to do with Uber. Yes, he drives for Uber. And when Uber did his background check, he looked good, right? But Uber is not God. They can't predict everybody's movement. But yet this one man has not only made Uber look bad in Nashville, but now any white guy that looks like that any girl is going to get in the car with, that they're going to decline. Because you know that you can decline even when they pull up. So you pull up, and a girl looks in there like, oh, he looks just like that dude that just went to jail. Decline. So now you gonna lose money because of how you look and who you drive for. Even Lyft drivers, if you look like that man that they just locked up, decline. Because your picture got to come up and your name, and the driver will say, okay, I'll accept whatever. But if you look like that, it's over.
You know who it makes look real bad? The company.
Yeah.
The company. Because people gonna have, he represents that whole company.
Yep.
So I don't know. Maybe these companies need to do a more extensive background check on a lot of these folks. I mean, they maybe need to go far back as grade school.
True. But even if you do, Damo, you can't do background checks on mental health. For 90-something years, you've been okay. But year 99, you just snapped and then you a criminal. You know what I'm saying? Like, you could be driving for Uber for 5 years and be a 5-star, and something happens to you one day and you just snap, and then you playing porn and masturbating and all this old stuff. There's no way you have a crystal ball to say what driver is going to go crazy. Or you have a driver that
crazy part. And you're right. You know the crazy part about what you're saying, Sky? You're absolutely right. But I think this is the part that's going, and it kind of went over my head for a minute.
Mm-hmm.
Essentially, you're getting in the car with a stranger.
That's it. Because of money. That's it. And think about it. You can take a guy who just got out of jail, who's had a criminal background, and he'll be your best Uber driver for 10 years. He's a 3-time, and he'll be your best Uber driver for 10 years. But then you do a background check on a guy. He's a church-going guy, and 3 years later, then his ass is in jail for sexual assault and harassment. It is. This is the world we live in. And I don't like bringing up religion because that's not my thing, but I tell folks I don't believe in the traditional hell. This is hell because you can look at a human and not know what they're thinking. That same person that shakes your hand every day, the next day might stab you in the back. Your neighbor that you've been here will come outside one day and shoot you in your damn head and won't even know why. They've been in the house, they blacked out, and just, we are always walking on eggshells in this life, and that is hell. From your kids to your wife to your parents to your family to your neighborhood, you don't know what a human being is going to do tomorrow. A snake will be a snake, a dog will be a dog, a bear will be a bear. But a human being, every day, you don't know what's on their mind and what they're capable of doing.
I just had a speechless. I mean, it's a scary thing, man. You know what I'm saying? And it's not only just scary for the passenger, it's scary for the drivers too. I mean, man, there's a lot of drivers, man. They don't know who they picking up. I've heard some horror stories with these share rides, Uber and Lyft, from both passenger and from driver.
Yeah.
So you're right. You playing when somebody's strange getting your car. It's Russian roulette. You just don't know.
That's right. And I did Lyft, and I only lived during the day. I didn't mind DoorDashing at night, but getting in my car, sitting behind me, it had to be during the day. I never lifted at night when I used to live. When the sun was on its way down, cut the app off. I'm sorry. No.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. Speaking of hell on earth, Chicago, y'all gotta be living in hell on earth. Because this last story that we about to do, this is diabolical. Sky, I said, man, out of all the stories, I couldn't wait to get to the show to really do this one. I mean, I was like, I done heard a lot of stuff. This takes the cake.
Many Cook County residents are reeling today from a whopping property tax bill that came out late and much higher than expected. Chicago's south and west sides are seeing some of the biggest increases. Our political reporter Chris Ty has more on why downtown may be to blame and what some residents are doing about it.
The pain is real here in North Lawndale, where property tax bills are going up on average 98%. In West Garfield Park, it's up over 130%. And one of the main reasons why is because of what's happening or not happening over there in downtown Chicago, where in the Loop, they've collected 129 million fewer property tax dollars this year than they did last year.
My property taxes went up 75.86%. And so
Richard Townsell of North Lawndale has a friend who saw his jump 237%.
my wife and I, we had a budget meeting last week as we were looking at this. You know, does that mean maybe we don't take the vacation we thought we were going to take?
Thank you all for coming. A frustration that this weekend led to this bill burning, led by the Lawndale Christian Development Corporation, which he is executive director.
It was a Boston Tea Party kind of moment where it's like taxation without representation. What do we do about this? Not just whine about it.
One idea is to lobby for a state law in Illinois, similar to one in California, that caps property tax hikes at no more than 2% a year. Consider Englewood residents saw an 82% jump this year, an average of $609. In North Lawndale, it was $1,900, and in Garfield Park, it was $2,000.
I think it's incumbent upon us as citizens to give our elected officials what we want. We should be pressing them around the bills that we want to see, not waiting for them to come up with a solution.
The problem, County Treasurer Maria Pappas says, is what's happening downtown.
All these high-rises, commercial buildings that you see downtown are unrented because the businesses have left the city. So somebody had to pick it up, so the residences are picking it up.
Picking it up begrudgingly.
I think government needs to learn how to live in their means, because guess what? You and I don't get a 100% increase on our pay.
Residents burning mad over the way government is spending more than they have. In North Lawndale, Chris Todd, CBS News, Chicago.
Spending more than what they had. This is for the people to be out there. I just wanted to say this right quick, Stein. For the people that always talk about, man, they need to tax the rich more. Well, in the end, did y'all see what was happening when they taxed the rich? Well, let me get my company up out of here. No, they ain't doing my company like this. I'm not paying no more taxes. They relocate. They relocate to more friendly tax states, like Tennessee, like North Carolina, like Texas. And then they leave the ones that's not so friendly, like New York, like California, like Chicago. So when they tax the rich, and the rich say, well, we know we ain't paying that. We're going to just relocate then. Guess who suffers? Guess who it falls on? You. That's why their taxes went up. They said that they had 29 million fewer taxes than the year before because businesses had left. So then, you know who had to put that bill? The residents. Y'all voted for this.
Right.
Y'all are the ones that put Sky is right over and over when he said, your local government, get familiar with your alderman, your councilman, all of that. The judges, all of that. Because them people gonna have a greater impact over your life than anybody. The mayor. Right. You know, the mayor, him and the governor, they lived in gated, secure fences. You know, their homes got fences and security around them. They ain't got to worry about that.
That's true. I
them
don't.
People, Sky, them people's taxes went up. And they live in some of the most dangerous neighborhoods in the country.
Mm-hmm. That's true, but people not understanding economics. So let me break it down to everybody who's in college. You know why your college tuition has gone up? Because first of all, a lot of colleges don't accept GEDs no more. A lot of people are not going to college, and a lot of people are high school dropouts. So you take all of that, which means that is money. Let's just take MTSU, is losing scholarships, grants, and student loans, because all those sector of people are not going. But they still have to maintain a certain amount of revenue. So the ones that do want to go to MTSU, when I was going, and let's just say a semester cost me $3,000 a semester, it's going to cost you about $9,000 in 2025 because all this money that they lost because you have high school dropouts, GEDs, or people just not going, they got to come up on your tuition now, your books, your parking. Then they build a crazy ass garage and do all that stuff. Well, the principle, what I'm saying, has just happened in Chicago. They lost $129 million in taxes, one, because what Damo said, businesses. Two, people homes are getting repossessed. If you ain't in a house, you ain't paying property tax. There are homeless people. If you ain't bought a house, you ain't paying property taxes. And young people can't afford homes. So if you can't afford a home, you're not paying property taxes. But the city of Chicago still has to have this amount of money to run. Just because people can afford, can't buy, or homeless, then it means you some of the guns that are in these homes, y'all have to make up for the difference for the people who can't do it whatsoever. So not only are these businesses leaving, then you lost your job, and then you ain't got a home. Well, you can't find a job, you can't buy a home, or your ass is just homeless to begin with, and can't even spell home. One of the two, that's it that city and county is missing. This is nothing new. They just did it in Nashville not too long ago. I think the taxes, 2 or 3 years ago, they went on like 40-some%, something like that. That's because city and Davidson County still need X amount of money to run everything. And if we can't get it from new homeowners or old homeowners or people that's getting houses repossessed, the you folks that are in Davidson County that are paying mortgage or whatever, we're going to come up on y'all. So, yeah, this is nothing new. Anybody that's shocked is people who don't take the time to learn these things. So when you're saying they come to places like Tennessee, but better tax this and tax that, I get that too. Because if you get jobs, more people will work, more people supposedly can afford homes, more people buy homes, there's more property taxes. Your property taxes kind of stay down, but because of inflation, it goes up. But when you in cities that are not doing that, then everybody who lives in those counties, those cities, every year your property taxes is gonna go about 98%. And then what happens when you can't afford your property taxes? You still get in foreclosure just because you have a lien on the house. Two people can take your houses, your mortgage company and the city. So now people are gonna lose their houses because they can't afford the property taxes. Well, then what does that mean? That means the ones that can't afford the property taxes and the ones that can't afford the mortgage is going to go up again. So the more houses or the more people that are not in houses, the more of y'all that are in houses is going to make up for the difference, if that all makes sense.
You're right. You're right. And it's a trickle effect. You know, I mean, to say you make the pay, essentially making the poor pay. Really what it is. Yeah. Because whatever they can't get from the rich, they're going to take from the poor. It's just like that new mayor in New York talking about free buses, talking about free government-run grocery stores. Well, you tax, and one of the things he said is these corporations need to pay more. Okay, all right, well, let's take my corporation and move it to Florida then. Now, who you're gonna get the money from, Mr. Mayor?
You know, I'm not even into politics like that. And, you know, sometimes people have a dim light on the Democrats, but I will agree about this when they talk about the Democrats or whatever. They make Democrats or minorities and poor people feel like the rich are evil or mean people and you should hate the rich. No. The rich did what they had to do to become rich. Y'all Democrats, some of y'all are so satiated with the Kardashians, the Real Houses of Vice of this. That ain't rich people just sitting on a boat drinking mimosa, talking about who has having sex with who. Most of these rich people work 30 years to become millionaires, 40 years to become millionaires.
And they're not going to give it up just to give it up.
Yeah, then here comes Uncle Sam talking about, well, we want 300,000 of the million. It took you 30 years. Hell no. Stop saying the rich need to pay more. Until you become rich or run major corporations, you don't know what them guys are going through. Well, TV says he got a $10 million being a CEO. You don't know what that man been doing the last 20 years as a CEO, taking a company that's been losing millions of dollars. Now they making millions of dollars. He's earned that $10 million bonus. But all you see on TV is today he got the $10 million. What about 10 years ago when the company was about to go under and they're about to fire him? So People stop blaming everything on the rich. Stop trying to say, well, the rich should pay more. No, why should they pay more? Because they're rich? That makes no sense. If you own the poor side of the fence, you're going to always believe that. But until you get on the rich side of the fence, you're like, damn, I done worked all this money, all this time, and here come Uncle Sam. Every time I make $1, they want more. They want more. No, that's not going to solve anything.
You're right. You're right. I feel for the people of Chicago, but then on the other hand, I don't. Y'all put this garbage in office. You know what I'm saying? It's you reap what you sow. It's unfortunate. I feel bad for the people that didn't vote for it, but you know the option you got is to leave. If things ain't going to change, leave. Go elsewhere.
People are just ill prepared sometimes because again, they stuck in their ways and they think this is how life is going to be for the rest of their life. There's only one thing guaranteed in life, well, two things, change and death. Everybody gonna die and things are going to change. Whether every 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, however it is, things are going to change. Yep. And those are the people that are complaining. Those who saved to have a safety net, when their food stamps got cut off, when they lost their job, they're like, okay, I got 6 months to find me food, find me a new job, find me. But those who kept blowing their money, living paycheck to paycheck to paycheck, them are the ones you hear complaining because in their mind, these food stamps are gonna come for the rest of my life. This Section 8 is gonna come for the rest of my life. This Medicaid and Medicare. No, why would you think that? I just have no clue what people think sometimes.
Yeah, I mean,
like right now in 2025, right now we supposed to be prepared for 2026. You don't know if you want to start paying student loans. You don't know if your property taxes are going to go up. Hell, you don't even know if your car going to break down. You know what I'm saying? You don't know if your washer and dryer going to break down. You need to start saving money in 2025 to get ready for 2026.
Man, you know if it's going to, when are they going to stop? When it's at 1,000%? We done raised the taxes up 1,000%. Where the land taxes is actually more than the property itself? Is that when they gonna stop? I mean, man, it's diabolical, man. But I couldn't wait to show y'all this story because I'm like, damn, 100% even know that was a real thing. When I was watching that news story and heard 230%, man, I started clutching my chest, man. You know what I'm saying? I felt like brand.
Somebody has to pay for it. And then we go back to the rich, right? There's usually rich people in every neighborhood. If my property taxes went up 100%, and let's say I'm paying $3,000 a year, well, what about that rich person living in a mansion paying $10,000 a year in property taxes? I'm talking about just in property taxes. That rich person's paying $10,000. His went up by 100% too, because he's in the same county. So right. You don't think he or she ain't bitching and moaning? You bitching and moaning over $3,000 that went up. They bitching and moaning over $10,000 that it went up. So quit thinking that the rich don't get affected by these laws because they're quote unquote rich.
I mean, you know, it's unfortunate, man, that this is basic economics and you got people that can't understand it. And it's because schools no longer teach it. And that's unfortunate. But really, it's up to households to do it. Your parents, it's their job to sit you down and to speak, to have a discussion about basic economics. And if they haven't, then they failed you. This is call it what it is. You know, whether they knew or didn't know, they failed you. So, yeah. That's what it is, man.
And there's a lot of people now, Damo, that want to homeschool their children, but you can't. Well, I won't say you can't. Coming up, it was hard to, because school is a business. Your principal gets paid by how many kids is in the school. I don't know if none of y'all knew that. That's because we used to have a principal called Dr. Curse at Carter Lawn, and he had 500 students, half of fifth graders, half of sixth graders. And as we walked through that door, he knew our first and last name coming in. And when it was time to leave, he knew our first and last name. And I never knew how this principal know everybody, because he's counting his money. The more students he has, the more he gets paid. It is a business. And so even if you are one of the people that want to home and teach them the things that they want to say, depending on where you live, it ain't really happening. Because think about it, if you took 10% of the kids out of these schools. You know how much money that they would lose because it's a business.
Yep.
They're gonna lose them anyway because look at all these teachers that are quitting. Look at all these teachers that are quitting. You ain't gonna even have enough teachers to teach your child.
Yep. It's unfortunate, man. I mean, you know, we need to be more adverse. I think they need to teach more politics in schools. It's unfortunate, man. I think a lot of this stuff people don't understand because they just don't teach it in public schools, which is why I'm happy again that they've taken and they're shutting down or breaking down the Board of Education, because the Board of Education has been failing people for the last 30, 40 years. Since they've been in existence, they've been failing kids. So, you know.
Yeah, it's like trying to put a round peg in a square hole. It's a one size can't fit all. There's too many kids in this world. Some with learning disabilities, some with just they don't give a damn, and all in between. If there's a way where you can get to know these kids as they grow up and figure out charter school, magnet school, private school, I think that will help. But just throwing a bunch of kids in one public school and say, hey, y'all, open the book. This is what we're going to learn today. Every child learns differently. When I was growing up, if you had a mental issue, it was called DO9. You remember that name, DO9? Okay, well, we used to have a section in the building called DO9, and that was for kids that probably had ADD and had mental issues. It was called DO9 or whatever. So I just don't understand why they thought Common Core or the Department of Education could teach hundreds of millions of kids one curriculum, and that would be it. That's just not how life is. Everybody learns differently.
Yeah, I think that they got too many kids per one teacher. And I think it was a good idea that they had these student teachers come in to kind of help around the classroom and assist. I think that should have been a thing, but a lot of people don't want to be teachers anymore.
No.
Case in point, when you get maced and you making $48,000, they paying you $48,000 a year to get punched in the face, to get somebody cutting your hair, to get maced. Of course, I don't want to be a teacher either.
Did you see there was a black guy who just quit? I think he was like a social studies teacher or something. He said, I don't have a problem with the kids. I have a problem with the adults. Some of the teachers in that man's school hated on him because how popular he was with the kids. And he had over like 700,000 followers on Instagram and stuff like that because of his personality and what he taught. Most of the kids loved this guy, but the damn other teachers hated on him. And so it's like, you know what? It wasn't even the kids, it's me. I'm leaving because of the damn adults. We're dealing with these parents. It's just, you need to have a better environment for these teachers because outside of the home, Damo, the teachers are the second parents. They are the second people that's raising your children to be better, productive citizens. Then you go home and you do it. Parents and teachers are supposed to work as a tandem, but not in 2025. Yeah. Because, I mean, look how young these parents are and look how young these teachers are. You see some teachers that got fireworking and rapping and all that. You know.
That we moving in as a society. I mean, and you know, it's scary, man, when you know, like me becoming an elder now. You watching the world, I'm watching the world like, damn, these are people that's gonna be taking care of me. Do you think I feel comfortable at all? Hell no. Hell no. These are people gonna be making decisions for me. Shoot, I'm in trouble.
They're crazy. So me and you gotta worry about Social Security is gonna be there. We gotta worry about any type of health care. Hell, will money even be in existence by the time me and you turn 80 and 90? Shit, will it just be a chip that they put in your body to tell you how much time you have? Like, I don't know. I have no clue whatsoever.
It's scary to think of, man. It's scary to think of. I didn't say that.
If you have some money, I suggest you go to a bank, get you one of them little safe boxes in your bank and go buy some gold, some silver, some diamonds, stuff like that to put into it, just in case you wake up in the government and say, hey, money's worthless. At least you know gold will always be worth something. Silver, bronze, diamonds, they'll always be worth something. And get you a safe box at a bank and store some of that stuff in there just in case one day you wake up and money is worth it.
My best advice to y'all: don't have kids until you financially situated.
Ooh, that's like beating a dead horse.
I mean, I know that's really hard for y'all. A lot of y'all. I mean, just don't have kids. If you can't really take care of yourself, don't bring no kids in the world. Plain and simple.
And then what about those that do have kids, right? So if you're a single parent and you have kids, why do you spend your money on frivolous things? I know parents that spend money instead of saving their money, they spend it on frivolous things. Well, I'll get some more. I get paid next week. It don't matter because that might not happen next week. And you might not even live to see next week. Start saving and having a plan B if you are a single parent. Don't be out here buying stuff that you don't need. And they do it all the time. Do it all the time. And then they wonder why they broke or this got cut off or that. Because you blowing your money on silly stuff.
Yep, it's all around the world the same song.
Yep.
All around the world the same song. I know one story. We ain't gonna get to it today because we coming to an end. But did you hear the woman in Thailand where she was like a 60-something-year-old woman? She was ill, and the brother thought she passed away because she wasn't breathing. Right? Mm-hmm. So he journeyed with her body in the casket 5K kilometers. They get to this Buddhist temple. They're talking about arranging, death certificate arrangements. And then they hear a knock. Come to find out it's her. And this happens moments before they cremate her. They get ready to cremate this woman alive.
What she did? Was she just in a coma? Because think about it. If you have stopped breathing, you should be a vegetable. Because after 5 minutes of oxygen, you start losing brain cells. So how long was she unresponsive and unbreathing?
Man, it had to be a couple hours. There's conditions.
And she still had enough brain cells to knock off. Because I would think you would be a vegetable if you ain't had no oxygen to your brain in 2 hours.
There are some conditions where we've seen this before, because at one point they had to put bells in the caskets and at the grave. So if somebody just so happened, I'm guessing this had to be a time before, and they embalmed the body. Because of course you ain't gonna get that now, especially in America, where they cut the body open, take out the organs. You ain't got to worry about that. If they deem you dead and they start cutting on you, you ain't got nothing to come back to life with anyway. And if you do, the coroner and everybody gonna take off running because they know you ain't got no heart, liver, stomach, any of that stuff. So I'm guessing over there they didn't really cut her open or anything. They just the face value of you don't feel no pulse or we don't feel her breathing, And so then they let's go ahead and write the death certificate up, cremate her, and go about our day. So I'm guessing it's one of them. They wasn't taking out organs, I can tell you that.
She was that close to being fried alive. Woo, good Lord. Oh my God. That's crazy. I don't know what's scarier. She was that long unresponsive and the body just ain't moved like she was asleep, but she was that close to getting fried. Because once they stuck in there, even if she would have knocked on the door, I'm not sticking my hand in that fire to pull her back out. She was just gone. You know what I'm saying? Like, damn, she's screaming. You know what I'm saying? I put my finger in my ears, like I ain't thinking about it.
She was 2 seconds away from the quiet below me. You know what I'm saying? That's
God would have had to forgive me for that one, because I'd have been like, oh,
man, if y'all not checking to see if bodies are passed before y'all cook them, can y'all please make sure the food Thanksgiving right around the corner? Can y'all make sure the turkey is all the way dead before y'all go ahead and fry them?
Ooh, I've done all my things.
I'm not taking bodies. People taking turkeys. You know what I'm saying? Damn. I know I better not be sitting at somebody's table when I hear come on. Because it's going to be something.
Damn, burger just start flying around. Like, well, you know what? I guess it just wasn't meant for us to have Thanksgiving.
black man move speeds I ain't never seen him move that.
But I hope everybody has a really good Thanksgiving.
Sky, they better make sure that food's dead.
Yeah. Man. And remember, you can't eat everybody's cooking now. So don't be out. If anybody has never had food poisoning, because I ain't never had it, I hope you don't get it. But if you at Thanksgiving table and somebody offers you something and you don't look right past it, don't be nice and eat it. Trust me, everybody can't cook. So you be careful what you stick in your mouth Thursday.
Man,
and I hope everybody has a free Thanksgiving, because when you get my age, Thanksgiving is just another day. It is. It's just another day. But for you who still love Thanksgiving, I hope you and your families have a great Thanksgiving.
I'm gonna be at work, man. So Thanksgiving, man. I'll be working 5 to 1, getting that money. Hell, I don't care how many holidays come.
Oh no, they don't. No, they march into your house every month, right? Like so.
Matter of fact, this is the time of year we probably should be working more, because this is the one where they dupe us out of spending more money. You know, you got damn Halloween. You know, actually, hell, Labor Day, then Halloween, then Thanksgiving, then Christmas, then New Year's, then Valentine's Day, then St. Patrick's Day.
You know, we have Veterans Day somewhere in between here. Yeah.
Then you got one breather, and then guess what? Mother's Day, then Father's Day, then the 4th of
It's
July.
something every month. It's something every month. I remember as a child in the 80s, in the early 80s, my calendar used to be so naked, you could see right through it. Now you open up a calendar, ain't a day on that damn calendar, ain't something written on Grandparents' Day, Grandmother's Day, Stepbrother's Day, Siblings' Day. Like what? Where y'all coming up with this stuff?
Cereal Day. Damn, they got a cereal day?
Huh?
I'm like, damn, they just come up with shit. Cereal Day. Damn, we got a cereal day?
Yeah, they just coming up with every damn day.
We just making up shit now to celebrate.
That's
you know,
it.
I knew we was through when we came up with it. Because how do the party that didn't tell the slaves they was free give people the holiday to celebrate the day that the slaves found out it was free? That's crazy right there.
You know how long they've been trying to fight for that to get in the holiday? Years. They've been fighting for years to get Juneteenth a holiday. And I'm thinking,
and they be like, thank you, Joe Biden. I'm like, damn, this party the reason why the whole damn day exists.
But I'm thinking, why would I care about Juneteenth?
Twilight Zone, man.
Like, why would I care to remember Juneteenth anyway? Some things I just don't want to remember. We didn't need Juneteenth as a holiday.
You know, it's just like they was mad because dude took all them that slave memorabilia out the White House. Who wanted to sit there and watch their great-great-granddaddy laid up there like this on the statue? Nobody want to see that shit. You know what I'm saying? He up there with chains on his neck like this. You like, damn, he look like he's still alive. Man.
I know, man. And some people, if it ain't drama, they can't live on this earth, man. It has to, you can't please everybody. You just can't do it, Damo. I've learned that the hard way. So for those of you who celebrate Juneteenth, congratulations. But I don't celebrate that. Huh?
You got any events going on this weekend?
Yeah, so don't forget, y'all, tonight. Yeah, I forgot. Sorry about it. No Limit Pro presents the D-Bling radio show. And then No Limit Pro will present the Elite One radio show this Thursday. No Limit Pro Wrestling this Sunday, Tullahoma, Gypsy Joe Arena, Sky Black versus Big Man Carnage versus Hype versus D'Amico Graves, who took my belt this time last year in November. I'm coming back for it, D'Amico. And all the other great action is going on. So come down there. And don't forget, SWF is also running in the Gypsy Joe Arena this Friday. So you have SWF this Friday, and then from what I know, this Sunday in that same building, No Limit Pro. So come out, enjoy good wrestling. Don't forget, again, our radio show tonight. If you're an artist and you need radio play, hit me up at sky.black@gmail.com. That is sky.black@gmail.com. And again, I hope everybody have a great Thanksgiving, y'all.
Man, thank you guys, man. Please be safe. Peace and save me a plate. That's all I got for y'all. Save me a plate. I'm coming through. You know what I'm saying? If y'all need to drop it off to me, if I need to tell y'all where to drop it off, I will be happy. I'll be happy to give y'all an address. Now, I want to say this.
Because Damon's going to be out there working.
Huh?
I said, because you're going to be out there working, making double time, right?
No, we ain't no holiday pay where I'm at.
Well, then y'all bring him 2 plates then. He ain't even getting holiday pay. Y'all bring him 2 plates.
Now, I'm going to make some disclosure. If you bring me a plate and it say baked beans and they ain't baked, don't bring me the plate, all right? I'm sick of y'all at holidays having baked macaroni and cheese and the shit ain't baked. Or baked beans. I went to the spot at the Assembly Food Hall and I said baked beans and I got it and I'm like, they soup. Why do y'all call these baked beans when they soup? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't say a fried egg and the egg is boiled. You know what I mean? So if you're doing stuff like that, keep the plate. You know what I'm saying? The gesture is spice, but keep the plate. You know if you know how to cook and if you don't know how to cook it. If you don't know how to cook, your first time cooking a turkey and you ain't cleaned out the inside of it, don't just keep the turkey. All right? I thank you for your gesture and everything. But if you ain't cooking out and whatnot, you just do the dressing in the turkey and ain't clean it out, just keep the turkey. You know, I love you from a distance. I love your hair and your gesture. Just keep that shit. You know?
I get you. But now y'all see the disclaimer. If y'all want to be nice and give Damo some food, then you know, baked beans need to be baked. Macaroni needs to look good, and you need to clean your damn turkey, or chicken, or hen, or ham, whatever the hell it is you have.
If you put American cheese in that, keep it, all right? Keep it, give it to the rest of the family, give it to the home. Don't bring it to Damo. You know what I'm saying? If you got Kraft American cheese laid across there, keep that shit. I don't want it. I'm just telling you, man. You know you can't cook. You know you can't cook. Don't bring that shit to me. Don't bring it to Sky. You know.
Absolutely. Because the crazy part is, back in the day, I have sympathy for you. But now, with the internet and YouTube, you should be able to cook whatever you want. There's people on the internet who will show you step by step how to cook Thanksgiving dinner. There's no excuse
for you. Because Big Mama was in that kitchen, you should be in that kitchen with Big Mama.
Absolutely. 6 in the morning. She put the turkey in it at night. Get up 6 in the morning, get the cooking. Everybody at the table be eating with her because she been eating and tasting. Hell, she full. Everybody else is like, that's good. You know what I'm saying?
You know, so. But man, thank you guys, man. We love y'all.
Yes.
Please, y'all be safe. And be safe on Black Friday, man. I don't want to see y'all over there jumping over and clotheslining people with them cheap TVs that's only going to last 2 months.
That's it.
When Black Friday come, man, be safe on Black Friday too, man. Don't be out here acting a fool, y'all.
Absolutely. Because if you do, Damo's going to find you, and he's going to put you on the show, and we're going to talk about it.
We're going to have a video of you, and we're going to be sitting there like, look at this.
Yeah. I know that dude. He's crazy. You know what I'm saying?
All right,
y'all have a great weekend, Damo.
We out, y'all.